Maria Designs. Happy Saturday. Welcome, America and beyond, to diamond painting. I just got done with a live with my members, and I'm going right into a live with my subscribers. So, surprise. Um, what did I want to tell you guys? I want to tell you guys that I finally got the tutorial done for color blocking. And this is just a little heads up that it's about an hour and a half long. It's going to cover color blocking. It's going to cover multi-placing. It's going to cover getting a nice edge on your border, straight drills. And there's something else. Color blocking. Oh, confetti. So I was in a groove of like making a video every single day. And, some of you know, John got sick. He just popped in on the members video. John got sick. He got an injury in his shoulder, and, my world kind of stopped. And so when I finally sat down, I was like, this is on my mind. I have to get this tutorial done. I want to get it done. I keep talking about it. And I want to like piggyback off of the confetti video, because the confetti tutorial and the color blocking tutorial were both birthed out of the Dreamer Design custom lady in hat with feather boa that I did. Lady in boa with feather hat. One or the other it is, but it's a Gustav Klimt. And through my frustration of doing color blocking and doing the confetti, I tried to make things easier and fun. I do these little psychological tricks with myself to like I was telling my members, like when you have to clean the house and you're kind of like I'll set a timer for 15 minutes. Let me see how much I can get done in 15 minutes. Let me see if I can blow through this kitchen. Let me see if I could, vacuum and dust at the same time. And I'll win $1 million. Like I got to tell myself, I got to trick myself into doing things. And so not tricking myself with confetti, making things easier with confetti, but tricking myself with color blocking. Color blocking is where confetti is technical, but broken down. Color blocking is just fun. I just came up with fun ways to make, if you don't like color blocking, fun. However, when I started the video, being that I'm not doing videos every single day, I had a lot to say, and I kind of went on my creative process journey for about 30 minutes. And if you want to skip through that, I get it. I am so thankful for your time. I am so thankful that you make time for yourself to just diamond paint, to just listen to me like a podcast, watch whatever the hell it is I'm doing. But I just want to give you a heads up on that. I felt like that was needed. And there's still some minor editing that needs to be done. Some things that I just want to like make it more cohesive and tighter. So I figured, let me just pop in on a live and we'll get to it. And I'll give you some little heads ups on what's going on. Okay. So some of what you're going to see with this color blocking tutorial is how to make a straight edge. I just took this out with my members. I was trying to work with it. This is something that I bought early on when I was diamond painting, and I'm still struggling with it. So I'm trying to always teach myself new things. And during my color blocking tutorial, which I started in this section, but I end up in a corner because we're trying to do lines, straight border lines. I diamond painted this section the way that I normally diamond paint, and I'm going to just zoom you in on that. And I am a vertical diamond painter. I diamond paint up and down, north to south. And I was like, well, you're doing a tutorial and you have to think the way other people diamond paint, and they do diamond paint east to west, horizontally. And I began to, I don't know what made me do it, but the way that I would diamond paint horizontally and why I didn't like it was because I was always diamond painting this way. So I think I have number 4 in here. So let me just see here. I'm going to try and pick up 3 here. So I was doing my horizontal lines this way. And I don't know what made me turn it this way. I don't know if I was watching someone else. And I was like, okay, it's all right. I wasn't really thrilled, but it was like, okay. And I continued to pick up my drills. Now, am I in the way of your shot here? Am I even in this shot? Where am I at? Here. Okay. So what I found was by doing it this way instead of that way, was that I was able to really use the drills that were underneath as the foundation of where to place the next row, right? This is a row, that's a column, right? And I was like, wow, that's really looking kind of neat. And if you look at these drills here that I did horizontally, they're so much neater than the drills I did here. I see all this gapping and lines. And here, I just see a really cohesive. Now, I think that this drill, oh, it is. I thought maybe it was just, I thought it was a not a well-shaped drill. And I was like, well, I think you better start teaching yourself how to do diamond paint horizontally. And especially with squares. Squares are so unforgiving, and especially black drills and white drills. And that's all about how light hits them. Light will bounce off of white, and light will be absorbed by black. And so they're unforgiving. And so when light hits them, you just see everything, and that's what makes them so difficult to place. Now this is gray, pearl gray, dark. I don't think that this is very dark. I think this is pearl gray dark. But I think it looks pretty good. I haven't tried going horizontally yet with black drills, but you see what I'm doing here? I'm fidgeting with these drills because I did put these in vertically and not horizontally. And I had not had to go back and fix any of these drills. Well, I could see a line here that's a little off. See what I mean? And this is what, not much. It's just a little, okay. So this is what made me want to do something with color blocking, because when I did the boa on Lady in Feather Hat and Boa, there was a huge amount. I mean, I don't even know how many rows of black there were. And I was just zipping along, having a good time, thinking, this is fabulous. I can get to use my big multi-placer, and I could just get this, blow this out. It's going to be gone. Hey, Molly's home. I can't wait to see her pictures. I didn't know if she was coming yesterday or if she was coming today. And I'm like, I'll get done what I have to do. And then I'm going to hope that nothing happens that, she's held up for any reason, whether it's travel or whatever. Oh, thank you. I can't wait to see her. And John is in love with her already. He's in love with her. He can't believe I miss Honor because I had him for 16 years, and Honor was only here with us for a few months, but well, yeah, maybe a half a year. And John he misses Honor so much. Oh, one of my subscribers got a Yorkie, and I can't wait to see her. She's so cute. I love Yorkies. And now I have a bowling ball over here in stat. I've been calling him Murder Mittens because he came over to my desk while I was doing a live, and he took something off of it. Oh, not a live. I was doing the color blocking tutorial, and I'm like, I took everything out from my members. Where is it? And I was literally crying and talking to St. Anthony at the same time. I was lighting candles. Please find this for me. I want to get done. I'm finally getting a minute to myself. Oh. This is only like the 20th time that I've heated up this coffee. I don't know why I can't get it down today. But anyway, so the beginning of the tutorial is about, my creative process, which interests me very much. People's creative process, where they work, how they work, when they work, is always been very, very interesting to me. I think that there's a lot to learn if we can sit down. Hi! Were you in the member? Was that you in the member studio? All right. Canadian Diamond Dot, which you and I need to chat. I tried to get over to your 2:00. She has a get together at 2:00, Canadian Diamond Dot Witch, that she does every single day. They get together and they diamond paint. And I so wanted to get together with you guys and just diamond paint because my brain was fried. I just couldn't. I was like near tears every day this week. And I just wanted to sit down and just diamond paint and not think about anything else. And I didn't get over there, but you and I have to chat. I don't know if that was you in the member lounge. Yes, I just wanted to just like, even if I was just like sitting with someone and just listening to you guys talk, just like not to have like background noise on with music or background noise on with like other diamond painters that I'm listening to, but just to have like a live conversation with people. You get it. I know you get it. But yeah, so that's what was going on with my tutorial. And then John popped in the member studio. I don't know who was there. I don't know who popped in. They were there, like you could see that somebody's there, but they weren't saying anything. Um, but John popped in on the members studio, and I thought, he wanted to just say hello to everyone and thank you. And he decided this morning that he wants to finish his spooky story. And I'm like, well, let me tell you, um, I got every holiday in my head: Easter, Thanksgiving, Christmas, Halloween is over. And he was like, well, but I'm like, you know what? I'm going to have you finish the story because the holidays are coming and they're spooky for a lot of people. Hi, how are you? Lizette, get ready because I'm so glad that you're here and that I could tell you live. I did a color blocking tutorial and I held up, the painting that was the catalyst for me wanting to do like just like fun little psychological things that you could do if you don't like color blocking, get through it. And I was talking about you, and I'm like, I don't know how this girl does it. I think she's an Avenger. I think she's one of the Avengers, and her superpower is diamond painting. And yeah, so you're an Avenger, Lizette. I made you an Avenger, and your superpower is diamond painting. I love. What time is your live for your members tonight on the Eastern time? Because it said 16, and I'm like, what is 16? If noon is 12, 13, 14, 15, is it 4 p.m.? You're an Avenger. I expect to see you in like a Captain America shirt pretty soon. Are you what time is your live? 4 p.m. Eastern. I will be there because I was telling my members we're going to meet early because unless Lizette is having her live for members, because I want to be there. I just want to pick your brain. I just like am like I just got done saying how much I am so my wheelhouse is what people, where they work, how they work, when they work. With diamond painting, I am so involved in the creative process. So the beginning of my tutorial for color blocking is just, not being able to get in front of the camera for like the week, and like everything just came spilling out of my head. And really what I was giving my subscribers was a a peek into my own creative process. So okay, I'm going to calm down now. I'm going to put the coffee on the side. Thank you. I missed everybody else's messages. Gabrielle, you were saying something about John reading anything. He's going to read the rest of that spooky story because my phone is ready to just blow. It's like, please, no more. Please upload something and edit it because you're running out of memory. And I have like 2 hours of me diamond painting Black Cat and a Starry Night. And he needs to, got it, have a lot to tell you later. Oh, good. Lizette, okay, I got that. I got that. Okay, John could read the back of what a cereal box and make it interesting. He really could. He's got the gift of just a charm, and he could. When we were first dating, he had said to me, "Have you ever read this book?" And I said, "No." And he said, "Can I read it to you?" And I was like, "What? Do I look like a child? Read it to me. Give me it. I'll read it." He's like, "No, I really want to read it to you." And one day I came home from work, and it looked like the set of the Merv Griffin show. He had these chairs set up, and he was going to read to me, and I was like, oh no, this is just like it just felt weird. But when he started reading, I'm like, well, I never read like that. That's not what the voice in my head sounds like. And he read to me, what was it? Oh gosh, I know the name. Oh, I know the name. It was of missing persons. Am I losing my mind? I'm losing my mind. He read it to you guys of missing persons. And that story just it was short and sweet. And then he read what else did he read to me? Well, he read The Reincarnation of Peter Proud, and he read that book when he was like 10 years old. I'm like, how the hell did you get through this book? I'm scared to death. And plus we went to Catholic school. We didn't really believe in reincarnation and all that, but he read it. And it's in his, I think it was in his Tales of Spooky Stories. I'm like, what book club were you in St. Nicholas School? Like, cause it was, what's the name of that whole thing? Like the mobile truck used to come around to your school, and it was like a bookmobile, and you. I was like, what bus were you on that you had all these great spooky stories of suspense? Because I didn't get any of those kind of stories. My stories were like, I don't even know what the heck I was reading. Boring. Anyway, he read another one to me. Oh God, it's been a Broadway show. Uh, it has to do with someone that is challenged mentally, that undergoes. Oh my God, he's going to kill me. He's going to say, "How did you forget this story, Elisa?" Um, and he goes under this. Was it an operation? And he becomes smart, and you get the perspective of how you are treated in both lives that he's walking through. It was a Broadway show. In fact, it was on Larry David and his friend, who the comedian with the dark hair. Oh my God. I need to just have my brain taken out and get a new one. I'm getting so bad with recalling things. I need to go get that. Who's that girl, Blossom? She's like a neurologist or something, a neuropsychiatrist or something, and she's got that brain vitamin. I need to go get that. I'm tired of trying to recall things. But anyway, it was the, oh, I can't remember his name. It was the comedian that was doing the show, and he ate all this licorice that Larry got at an auto dealership. And he was like, "Oh, wait till you try this licorice. It's delicious." But we all know if you eat a lot of licorice, you better be close to a bathroom. And he gets on stage, and he needs to use the bathroom. It was hilarious. It was hilarious. It was been more hilarious if I covered Richard. Oh gosh. This is it. Don't get old. No, get old. It is a privilege to get old. Get old. Uh, I'm not going to say that ever again. Don't get old. Get old. It's a privilege. And so we forget a few things. What the hell? I got 62 years worth of stuff going on in here. And my husband, we went to a wedding. Now, I have to tell you this story. I should dive in paint and tell you, but wait. My husband will say things like, "Oh, I ran into so and so." I'm like, "Who's that?" He's like, "Well, he grew up in your neighborhood." I'm like, "Well, I don't know who it is." Like, I was doing my own thing. And he'll tell me, like, "Well, how could you not know who they were? You went to school with their sister." I'm like, "I don't remember her either." You went to school with her. He married her sister's cousin that was twice removed from the family. I'm like, "John, I don't know how you hold all this stuff in your head, but I've reduced him to a nickname, 23andMe. You don't need to have your blood work done. Just send your name to my husband and maybe a zip code, and he'll tell you your whole family history." So we're at the wedding. I'll keep diamond painting. We're at the wedding for what's her name? Allie, because I was calling her I was calling her Maddie in the members studio, and that's her sister. So we're at the wedding for Allie, and my husband comes up to me and he says, "Guess who's here?" I'm like, "Who?" He said, "Sky." I'm like, "Sky who?" He's like, "Sky from Dr. Harris's office. The girl, the dental hygienist." I'm like, I said, "I really didn't really even realize that's what her name was." I don't know where my brain is half the time, but he said, "Yeah, Sky." He said, I said, "I only know one person that ever named their kid Sky." And he's like, "Oh, really?" And he's like, "Who?" I said, "Oh, a girl that I went to school with. Her name is Candy." He's like, "What's your father's name?" I said, "Billy." He's like, "What's his last name?" I said, "Cruz." I'm like, "Wow, I'm really impressed that I can recall all that." So I get back to what I'm doing. We're sitting at the neighbor's table. All the neighbors were at this wedding because we've all known, well, I haven't, but John has. He's known Allie since she was a little girl. And so I'm just chit-chatting. So my husband comes back and goes, "Guess what?" I'm like, "What?" He goes, "Sky's mother's name's Candy and her father's name's Billy." I went, "What?" He's like, "Yeah." He's like, "She's going to come over." Now, the last time I saw this child, and I knew Candy because I went to school with her, but I met Billy because I was dating one of his friends. And she comes over, she goes, "Yeah, my dad's name is Billy, and my mom's name, how do you know my mom and dad?" So I'm telling her, I'm like, "Your mother was hilarious. She kept all of us in school in stitches." And she's like, "Oh, she's still hilarious." So she goes, "Well, how do you know my dad? You met him through my mom?" And I'm like, "No, I was dating someone, and your mother's has an uncle Billy, and they were good friends, And they lived together when I was dating him. And she's like, oh, who, Tommy? And I'm like, yes. And she's like, he's my godfather. Now, you would think that this story would interest my husband. He had no interest in it at all. None. She's like, my Aunt Annie is here. I'm like, what? Tommy, who I dated, sister. Not interested in all. 23 and me. He wasn't interested in the story. I'm like, Sky, I'm going to tell you something. My son was born premature, and I had to go through all this training before I brought him home. Like, if God forbid he choked and everything. I was like, you were a little girl in a high chair last time I saw you, and you were chewing on a onesie. She had the edge of the onesie in her mouth, and at the time, they weren't snaps, they were buttons. This is how old I am. And she broke the button off, and it was in her throat, and I was watching her. Everybody else was talking, and she started to choke. And I ripped that little girl that is standing in front of me right now out of that high chair, and I put her over my arm, and I began uh, tapping her on the back, turning her over onto my other arm, looking inside of her mouth, turning her over, and she spit that button out. Okay? Talk about, I don't know. I don't know. There is so much in this universe that we don't know that is going on that, I mean, and she looked, I was like, you are the perfect combination of your mom and dad. You are beautiful. And then to see Annie, oh my God. And she was sitting at the next table across from me. Here is something that I learned in yoga when I would teach, and it was such a privilege for me to teach. I don't like this stride, it's driving me nuts. When I would teach, and I would always make myself available to my students because I would check them in for the class, I would always say to them, if there's anything that you want to tell me, any charms or challenges that you're having, you can tell me privately. I won't announce it to the classroom. But I always kept it in the back of my mind if somebody was struggling with something to kind of work something into the class that they knew that I was talking directly to them. But let me tell you, I'd have a class of like 20 people, 20 students. The students that were having this challenge, or the students that were having this kind of, charm going on in their life where they were like breaking through stuff. When I would look out into that classroom, all the people that were having similar, because we can't have the same experiences, we're all individuals. They would always, they didn't know each other, but they would always kind of gather together. And it just was always so interesting to me that they would find each other, put their mats next to each other. Sometimes the classes were so tight that they would touch each other. And I don't know, I didn't get to really explore this further with my students. If they ever felt an energy around them that was, maybe they didn't, because we are really, I did have people in my classroom that would kind of like look up and look around at everyone else, and I would try and get them to not do that, because you never know what anything is going on in someone's life, so you don't know. Case in point, when I began teacher training, I was watching this girl set up on her mat, and she was stretching, and I was like, oh my God, what am I doing? What am I doing here? I'm too old for this. What am I doing? I'm really going to become a yoga teacher now, because that's just the way my life has been, like always, like, one thing and then another. And then, anyway, I'm watching this girl, and she's setting up, and she's stretching out, and she's like in a cobra pose. Her arm, she looks like a sphinx, and she's stretching her back, and then she goes into a downward dog, and then she comes back up, and she's going to do now a forearm stand, where she's on her forearms, and she's lifting her back of her body up, and her toes are touching her head. And I'm like, oh God, can I get my money back? Can I get my money back? And I just had so much anxiety and fear, and I'm like, I have to work through this. This is just not, this is not helping me in any way. And she looked over at me, and she smiled, and I got up from my mat, and I said, I have to tell you, that was one of the most beautiful poses I have ever seen. And you're going to make a beautiful yoga teacher. And she's like, thank you so much. You don't know what that means to me. And this is what I mean when I tell you, you don't know what is going on with anyone. She's like, I broke my back. What? She's like, I broke my back, and I didn't think, and I was a gymnast most of my life. So you just don't know what anybody is going through. And that has been a challenge for her to come into that scorpion pose for I don't know how long. And then she decided, well, I'm going to become a yoga teacher. So don't look over your shoulder. That's what I learned in that moment. Don't look over your shoulder at what anybody else is doing because you're not looking ahead at what you should be doing. That's my little my little aha moment there for you guys, if that helps. Um, and I really do think that I learned that a lot too here with diamond painting. Like in the beginning, just thinking that, well, I'm not doing it like this one does it, and I saw her do it this way. And that comes out in the color blocking tutorial that I'm looking to drop today. I just have some more editing to do. And then if John is really serious that he can um, finish the reading, the spooky story, I'm going to drop those too. Thank you, Lizette. Yes, thank you. Because in the beginning, when I was diamond painting, I was putting putty in my single placer, and another diamond painter that had a channel said, "Oh, you don't put putty in your single placer. You only put putty in your multi-placer, and you put wax in your single placer." And I thought, "Oh, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?" And I'm over here giving the tutorials, and I never said that I know everything about diamond painting, but I felt like I was giving misinformation out. But with the color blocking tutorial, you'll see me do things, and I do come to that lesson again in that tutorial where I'm like, you know what the lesson is here? Just diamond paint the way you want to diamond paint. Stop worrying about what everybody else is doing and just do your own thing. And when you follow your instinct, I think that that's where a lot of my tips come from. Um, where people think sometimes that I'm brilliant. I'm not brilliant. I'm just like I'm going on instinct and I'm sharing it with you. I don't like this tray, and I'll tell you why. I think I told my members. It's like it's great that they're all lined up like that, but if you have a big placer like this, you're picking everything up. And so I had to reduce myself down to a 3 um with my Art Dot putty, this remarkable putty that I think I loaded this with my members. And I was showing my members that you don't throw this putty away when you're done with it. For anybody that's out there, here's all the putty that I've taken out of my placers, and Art Dot tells you to keep it and keep incorporating. This might have been another piece that I took out of a placer, or maybe it was an extra that I cut off of a placer, and you just keep working it in. And one of my members, Cynthia, I think she was correct when she said it reminds me of silly putty. It actually has a silly putty consistency. This is not tacky or sticky, yet it goes for hours. Hours. It goes for hours. I literally had to take it out of the pen after 2 days because I was like, you're just showing off now. You're getting a change. You're getting a change whether you like it or not. And then what you do is you keep working it, and then, you roll it out, and you just load your placer, and it keeps going. Molly is being lulled to sleep on my lap listening to your hi Molly. Honor used to love when I used to do that big high voice. He loved it. He would get all excited. Oh, maybe I shouldn't have did that. Did I wake her up? Molly is Gabrielle's new little Yorkie for anybody just tuning in. And she is adorable. I'm so happy for you. You don't know. She's going to bring you so much joy. Any pet brings you so much joy. Any pet. I made the mistake of, I didn't make the mistake, but this young photographer, because I love photography also. Her ears perked up. Yeah, they like that. It gets them all excited. I barely saw your thing, Lizette. You don't use putty, or you do? But anyway, I was watching this photographer um, who he was doing like a cross country kind of a thing, and he was walking through a desert, and this kitten came out of nowhere, and he's like, "I'm supposed to be on this road trip, but I can't leave this kitten here." Her eyes were like just shut, and he takes her with him, and he's like, "I'm going to find somewhere that I can get this some little kitten some help." And I think he took her to the vet, got her cleaned up, and he was like, "Well, we're going to try and get her adopted." Well, he adopted her. She went on the road trip with him, and it's one of the most. It's on Instagram, and her name is Scythe, like a. Is that a scythe? Like when you y- I don't want to say it, but like Death Holds, is it a Scythe? Scythe. But if you look that up, she's the little kitten that he adopted, and he has the pictures. I think it's a boy. It might be a girl of the journey, and like how your life changes when an animal finds you. Because Foofy is a tabby, and I had Love, who was my first Yorkie, and Honor, who's my second Yorkie. They became brothers. They weren't the same from the same litter. And then I had Nikki, who was my Maltese. They were all together. When my mother-in-law unexpectedly passed away, she'd always said to me, please take care of my Nikki if anything happens to me. And I was like, what's going to happen to you? The dog is 13 years old. What's going to happen to you? And I got Nikki. So I had Love, Honor, and Nikki all together. And who comes knocking at my door? My Bella, who was a tabby cat. And she was a girl. And there were a lot of boy cats in my backyard. And they were all on their own. They didn't want to be bothered. But her, she would always come to my door, but she wouldn't come in my house. And I'm like, we'd be outside in my coat. And I used to smoke. And I'd be like, please come inside. It's freezing. Please come in the house. This cat would not come in. And I would just leave a little makeshift house for her with some food and water, but it still was very dangerous for her to be outside. And then one day she ran in my door and she never left. And that little cat, I mean, I had my three dogs and they all got along. Three dogs and one cat, they all got along and they just all brought me, every one of them just brought me so much joy. And now I got Foofy. I call him Murder Mittens. I call him Murder Mittens because he comes over and he taps me. He won't allow me to cut his nails. And John is like, look at my arms. Look at what they look like. I'm like, oh my God, you look like you were like in a gang fight with Fifi. Molly. Oh, little Molly. Does she know her name yet? And I have to know, like, when she came, did she realize that she's been adopted? Because Honor was real quiet on the way home. Love was mad at me. He was in the back seat. I had Honor on my lap, and he was real quiet on her until he got to my house. And then he just, I don't know, he just went crazy. He just went nuts. I'm looking up for some kind of message. I think it's just so much fun. It's like an early Christmas, so much fun. You're waiting for an animal to join your home. And oh gosh, I think I told my members also in the member studio that I found a new diamond painting company. And Lizette, I saw that you did a little post for Anthony Mukamania. She doesn't know her name yet. She settled him right away. Oh. Oh, so you're saying you don't use putty at all after 4 years of diamond painting? I think if you use this putty, you would just lose your mind, Lizette. That quick, I forgot what I was talking about. That quick, went right out of my head. Right now. Oh, I was telling Lizette, you put up a post for Anthony for Mukamania, and I just started my winter, which is a round, and Diamond Art Club. Both I have not done in a while. I have not done Diamond Art Club. I have not done a round in a while, and I'm just blowing through that canvas. And Anthony was doing an unboxing from Diamond Art Emporium. I was like, oh, I really like this master painting that he got. And I think what I'm going to do is check out Diamond Art Emporium. And I ended up buying two Diamond Art paintings. And I can't wait for them to come. I can't wait to see. I love getting involved with a new diamond painting company. I still haven't done Jaded Gem Shop. And I know everyone is like, you have to do a Jaded Gem Shop. You have to. And I know that I have to. But I feel like I need a block of time to really sit on her site and go through everything, and then like decide size, and I think it's more like you really curate your canvas. If I'm wrong, somebody say no, you're wrong. But I think it's a really way to curate your canvas right down to your drills if you want a toolkit and all that. And I think I need some time to really look at that. There is one on her site that I really, really liked. And it reminded me of Tinkerbell. But I have something that I found in the public domain that I already sent out to Dreamer Designs. I didn't give them the go yet to do it, but they were so nice because the you send them what you have. The Botticelli was a diamond art shop, and they have the Botticelli, the Birth of Venus, just her head, and they have the full, I mean, the full Botticelli. Yes, I see everybody says the same thing. So I love the one Adorn that you did. That reminded me of a rubber stamp that I had of Lena Cavalieri, who was an opera singer, and she became the face. You know, she was just so beautiful. And you'll see her face in like a lot of artwork. She's the girl. I'll have to put a picture up anyway. But it reminded me there was a piece of artwork done of her face where she had butterflies around her. And that's what it reminded me of. And I have that rubber stamp. I have a ton of rubber stamps that feature Lena Cavalieri's face. Beautiful. Beautiful. I love, I mean, I love looking at her photos as an opera singer. She was just so, she just had that face. So beautiful. So I love Adorn. And so Jada Gem's shop did have something that looked like a little fairy that was leaning up against a vase. But I sent my photo that I found in the public domain to Dreamer Designs, and they were so nice because when you upload your photo, I couldn't get a, you're welcome, I couldn't get a full shot of her. And they were like, you need a custom canvas. So here, pick this size and we'll cut it down for you and it'll be the same price. And I'm like, what? I really like Dreamer Designs for doing a custom. They will send you a draft. They will send you, you're looking at like when I sent them Beauty and Violet, um, I did want the ribbon in her hair to be just a shade deeper of violet, and they changed that. And they were like, "Do you want an AB?" And I said yes. They did that. I could have maybe did a little bit more enhancement, but I kind of felt like Anthony did when he was unwrapping his um, master that he got from Diamond Art Emporium. He did get ABs included in the kit, but then he was like, the ABs are on the skin. I don't know how I feel about that. But Dreamer Designs did do an AB for Lady in Hat, Lady in Boa and Feather Hat, which was the Klimt that I did. And they did decide to put the AB on her skin. And I thought, oh God, how is this going to look? And it's like a champagne color. Hi, hey all, hi. Um, Jay Lee Lee, hi, how are you? I did when Lady in Feather Hat and Boa was when I stepped back away from her, it looked like her face was done with oil pastels. Oh God, I just love the way it came out. If you're right up on it, it looks funky. But when you look at that from a distance, I just lose my mind. And something else that came up with the color blocking tutorial that I'm going to edit and get up today was I took out, what did I take out? Wink, which was a black cat, and it's mainly black and white drills. And it was a way for me to practice doing my squares. I made the frame for that one from clay and an IOD mold. And since I cannot find a frame suitable for Lady in Feather Hat and Boa, I am going to do, I'm going to make her frame. Thank you. Oh, Lizette. Yes. Yes. I'm looking forward to Lizette's live tomorrow too. I'm like, am I live tomorrow? So I don't know if that's something that would interest you guys, making a frame for your diamond painting with a clay mold. So if it is, just, shoot me out a comment that, yeah, I would like to see that. Like I was saying, I used to do Self-Care Sunday. However, when I started to learn from the Creator University here on YouTube, how they categorize you, and I don't know if I told my member this, I don't know if I'm repeating myself, but I fall into a DIY category, being that it's diamond painting, but then when I'm doing Self-Care Sunday, I'm falling into something else, which is like educational. And so now YouTube doesn't know what are we focusing on, kind of like a camera, that's out of focus. So they're not sending you my self-care Sunday, even though I was diamond painting. Bye, Lizette. Thanks for popping in. I'll see you at 4. So I didn't know where to YouTube doesn't know where to place you, and so I needed to, decide what I wanted to do. And so I do have people that say to me, "Why are you not doing your self care Sunday anymore?" And so if you want to see that frame, is what I'm getting to. It's still going to fall into a diamond painting category, like diamond painting frames. Because if I just say make your own frame, is there a way to reword it? Are you trying to say rewind? Are you talking to me or Lizette? um, I think once I diamond painting and self care. Oh yeah, they're still on my platform. It's called Self Care Sunday. Thank you very much for asking. And I do a lot of readings from Mark Nepo's Book of Awakening, and just hide into diamond painting. I really miss that because like I was saying earlier. I don't know who I was telling. I think I was telling you guys. I really miss my yoga classes, and I actually was thinking about maybe calling my old studio and saying, "Hey, would you do like a guest teacher?" Because I really miss my students, and I want to pop in and say hello. And I don't know if they're still with that studio. I've kind of moved out of the neighborhood, but if I was going to do like a guest teaching, I wouldn't mind. But ever since the pandemic, everything is, hey, I'm teaching a yoga class, and it's right, and I get the comfort of your own home, because I remember the days when I was running to my yoga classes and like, I'm gonna be late, and they were the yoga classes that I was going to attend, not the ones that I was teaching. I was always there like an hour and a half earlier, but I can't get into teaching a yoga class on like a platform where I'm being videotaped, or live, because I was such a hands-on teacher. If you wanted my hands on you, you could have easily just said, no, I don't want any adjustments or anything like that. I didn't find that too much, but there are people that don't like to be touched. But I was a very hands-on teacher, and would, help you if you wanted to help get, deeper into a posture, or show you a better placement, to maybe open up your hips or your shoulders more. So I just feel like, you know I don't think that comes across when you have a one-on-one with your students. And that's what I love about the member lounge and becoming a member. I feel like we're more one-on-one there. We're still kind of grasping for when is the best time to have a live. I had this whole thing in my head that Saturday mornings would be good, because you can, but Saturday mornings people work 9 to 5 during the week, and then like Saturday is their day to get things done, like shopping and stuff like that. So maybe it's not. Maybe this. I'm a very romantic person, and I have this like thing in my head that we're going to get together and we're going to have hot chocolate in the morning and we're going to diamond paint. Maybe that's not for you. Maybe it's like, hey, Elisa, can you do something like later on in the day or in the evening, and we can really unwind that way. And I feel like I'm very free here on the main channel, but I feel like I am freer in my member channel. I just feel like it's a smaller community, and I really want us to get to know one another and show off what we're working on, and really discuss any charms and challenges, and have the community of members there help each other out. Like, you guys do a great job here on this channel. I have to tell you, I've seen a lot of you begin to get to know one another and talk to one another. And that just makes my heart sing when I see you guys, oh, I worked on that. And what did you think of this? And, it's great, because really, you really only find something like that on a Facebook page. And I do have a Facebook page called Elisa Maria Designs. I'm never there because I had one member, I don't know if she's still with me, Amy. She did a really good job of saying to me, Elisa, I put something on your Facebook page. Go look at it. I'm like, you're keeping this page alive, Amy. And I hope that she is still with me. But I think that she was going through a little bit of a challenging time. So maybe she'll come back if she's not here. I hope that she does. But I only see that kind of camaraderie with Facebook, where you get to like know each other. You can see each other's Facebook pages. I don't know. What do you guys think? Is that something that I should bring back to life? Should I make time to go over there and be like, Okay, you guys want to meet up over here? I'm, I'm always asking for directions, unlike my husband. He refuses. Even when he puts the GPS on and she's talking to him, he's literally arguing with her. I'm like, please stop it. Please stop it. There is a way for you to tell them that the road is blocked. And he's like, what? How? I'm like, you have to pick the little hazard sign and just tell them the road is blocked. And she'll stop telling you to go that way. Please. we're so we're so different. We're so different in that category. We're like, I have no problem asking for help. Um, and he's just like, no, I'll do it myself. I don't know what that is. I need to have a study. I'm going back to this number 2 here up into this section, because if I didn't tell you guys, I may have told my members earlier that all these O symbols here are the AB symbols, and there's just a tiny little spot here where I started the hair where the AB08 is here. Now, coming up, you'll understand this when it comes up in the color blocking tutorial if you watch it. Between this and Bridgerton and Queen Charlotte, I decided that I did not want ABs in her hair. I want her to have string of pearls in her hair. So this and a little bit another couple of tips come up with the color blocking with using this as is in your diamond painting comes up. But it did inspire me to think, well, I want to have pearls in her hair like Queen Charlotte. I just love Queen Charlotte. I love her like I loved Marie Antoinette. I love Queen Charlotte. I think that the costuming for Bridgerton and especially Queen Charlotte, those wigs, bravo or brava to whoever designed those wings and did her costuming. Oh, the hair was just fabulous. And I think as a person who also sketches, I take a lot of I have a lot of workshops still on my computer from when I was taking sketch classes with Jane Davenport, who is an Australian artist. Some of you may know her. And if you know her, you know she's fabulous. And she has books that you can pick up about drawing like whimsical girls and characters. And when I would do my sketch work with her, the hardest thing that I would have to do. And actually, this painting is kind of like a Jane Davenport because Jane always sketches with the girls with the upswept wind blow, the wind blowing the hair up. So that reminds me of this. And the challenge for me, I'm not really challenged with drawing faces, but I was always challenged with hair. And so I was just amazed at the work that was done with Queen Charlotte and her hair. I just loved when she would come on and you'd see those fabulous wigs. Look her up. Look her up. She's so inspirational, especially if you like this era. And also, I think I was telling my members that I didn't realize, I know that Curtis Reichovich is not on, from what I know, not on YouTube. But someone, I don't know who it was one of my friends, it was like a personal friend, it wasn't a subscriber, said, hey, did you see this? And it was a TikTok of him painting this canvas. And I was like, oh my God, she's gorgeous. I don't know if I think he was using oil. I don't think it was acrylic. Absolutely stunning. And when it was done, it sold for like $1,500. I don't know if it sold with the frame, but it sold and it was absolutely gorgeous. I'm like, oh, it's so wonderful to be able to see the actual painting and the rendering. Brava, Dreamer Designs, because you did a remarkable job at doing the rendering from that painting to this diamond painting. And I may not be able to enjoy a Curtis Reichovich in my future. I'm never going to say never because I do own a few Peter Maxes that I love. Who knows? Who knows what the future holds, and if I have come across any kind of discretionary money and I want to buy a Curtis Reichovich. But to be able to diamond paint a current artist, and that's what's got me so excited about Diamond Art Emporium, because the artist is on DeviantArt, and I like supporting artists, and I don't know why or if Jane Davenport has ever been approached to do her whimsical girls, because I think that she would just sell out. I know that not Dreamer, Diamond Art Club did do Willow art, and Willow and Jane Davenport are friends. And I know that they have done collaborations together, and their art is similar. You can always see for me, the edge is with Jane Davenport, even though Willow is an amazing artist in her own right. I just prefer the Jane Davenport um, artistic flair, I would say. And I think because Jane also um, started to make her own mediums of paints and stuff like that, and books and stuff like that, and so it's like it's cohesive. So yeah, so I when I look at Queen Charlotte, I kind of see a little bit of Jane Davenport in the hair. Remarkable. I did get a chance to watch my last episode of Disclaimer. Please, someone tell me that you are watching one of the best shows coming out of Apple TV. It's like no one knows it, no one's interested in it, and it just kept me spellbound for 7 episodes. And John and I watched the last one last night. So much so that I went out and got the book. And I'm reading the book. And the book, I will say, so far, Apple TV did a very good job of following the book. There are some things that were not in the show, but they're not really, like, you don't really need to. It's just a little bit extra. But I don't think that it changed anything about what you needed to know about these characters. And what I love about Disclaimer was that it's told by multiple perspectives. The story, you have this perspective of Kate Blanchett and her husband, who's played by Sacha Baron Cohen, who some of you know is Borat. He's in a totally different character. And it's told by Kevin Kline, who I can't remember the last time I saw. Kevin Kline was like the Big Chill, and he was like 30 years old. He just turned 70 something years old. Amazing. What a juicy part for him. So it's told by and he's married to his wife Helen. Kate Blanchett is married to Sacha Baron Cohen. They're the main characters. And so what makes something like that so interesting is if you're watching with other people, being that you're getting other perspectives while you're watching, you then have the other perspectives that you get when you discuss this with your friends. Like, what did you think? What were you really focused on as the story is being unfolded? Because is it a story about a book that gets published, or is it a story about the truth, or what another person thinks is the truth? It is so good. And everyone that I asked are like, no, I'm not watching it. I'm like, what are you guys watching? Because I am like, now that Disclaimer is over, I don't know what to watch. I don't know what to watch on TV. I said to John, I'm like, usually music is on. John is a musician, so he usually has some kind of interesting. I really like these channels that he watches where someone is hearing a piece of music for the first time. I can't remember this girl's name. I want to say The Enchanted Voice, but I don't think that that's right. And she is a classically trained opera singer. And so she goes into music that she's hearing for the first time. Like, let's just say Boston's More Than a Feeling. Who doesn't love Boston's More Than a Feeling? Oh my God. And and just to see her expression that she's watching it hearing it for the first time, and she breaks it down so that you can hear things as just like a listener. Oh my God, This Is Us took me years to watch because I was running the restaurant, and then I caught up with what did I catch up with during the pandemic and when I had COVID. And let me tell you, those two people just I I would say to John, is it time? Because I got him hooked. I was like, I'll rewatch it all over again from the beginning, um, just to catch you up. And I was like maybe on the fourth season, and I started from season one all over again with John so that we can watch it all over again. The only person that I could not take was Kate. I could not take Kate. She had to get it together. She was a very strong young girl, but I always felt like everything was just super dramatic with her. I was like, really, honestly, is Kate in another? I mean, is there any episode where her life is not falling apart and everything is not, like the world is ending? I couldn't take Kate. I like her as an actress. I just couldn't take her character. It was like enough already. No teen should be filled with this much angst. But oh God, what a great show! Oh, I felt like I lived with those people. I felt like I lived with them. And I love Mandy Moore. And I love that she started her career much like a lot of pop singers like Christina Aguilera and Britney Spears, but she had good parents that got her into her good parents that got her into theater. Theater. She's so talented. She has such a beautiful voice. Such a beautiful girl. Beautiful girl. Gabrielle, what is their last name? Because it's killing me what their last name is. Oh, This Is Us, the family. And you know who I love? You know who my favorite character was? Randall. Oh, God. What a steam sailor. I love him. I love Randall. I love Randall's story. I'm not saying anything, but I love Randall's story. I loved his mom. I loved his dad. His character. I loved him as a little boy. I loved him as a grown man. Pearson. I was like, come on, John. It's time to go visit the Pearsons. And we would get in bed, eat pizza, and watch the Pearsons. I love that family. I love Jack. Oh, but I loved Randall. Who is your favorite character, Gabrielle? Have you picked anyone out yet? Because who's the middle kid, the blonde? I could hear them all in my head. I just can't think of the names. Oh my God. Here we go. I'm changing. Did I do all the ones? I didn't do all the ones. I set this up with my members this morning. I have my little, I use these when I do my confetti. These are from Art Dot also. You get 10 of them. You get 6 of the large. No, you get 6 of the small and 4 of the large. And then I just use my China marker to mark what color is in the tray. So if I didn't tell you that, I'm telling you now. If I did tell you, well, I'm repeating myself. It's the age. I'm repeating myself. But I really want to get this section done so that when DP with sparklers gets delivered, the only thing that's going to be left. I love Rebecca. I love Rebecca. Is Rebecca your favorite character? You remind me of a Rebecca. You remind me of a Rebecca. That's funny. Yes, you remind me of a Rebecca. Rebecca is very strong. She's very sensible. She's got her own mind. She's got a lot of patience. And I could see that in you, Gabrielle. I'm just filling in these areas because, like I said, I don't know if I told you or my members that DP with sparklers takes a while. And God bless, I hope it's because they're very busy and they have a lot of orders. So I don't mind waiting. But I just want to get this. I can't wait to see the pearls in her hair. I'm going to be like probably levitating. Jack is so cool. Oh my God, Jack. Oh, I love Jack. And they're so richly written. Every one of them, the family backgrounds, the individual, how they grew up, what their story is. Every story is just so richly written. I just fell in love with that family, and I didn't want it to end, but when it did end, it ended the way that it should have ended, and it's just amazing. I loved everyone. I loved Manuel. Was his name Manuel? Yeah. Kevin. I loved Kevin. I loved Kevin's girlfriend. I love and the way that they made the kids look exactly like the grown-ups. Oh my God, please stop. Stop. Am I done with this color? I think I'm done. I'm done. Oh no, here's one. Oh, I got a couple more twos over here too. I'm working my way in this corner here, but the washi tape was not really done very neatly. And this is why washi tape is such a pain for me. Mm. No, I'm not gonna shove in here. Even though I do, let me pick this off. Of course, now the one time I want the washi tape to come up, I gotta have washi tape that just doesn't want to budge. Usually it's stuck to my shirt or something. It's crawling up. Usually what I do is, like, this is the cutoff line. I will pick this up and I will place a few more drills in here only because I don't like that demarcation line that kind of settles in. So, and that's another thing with the color blocking. I have a couple of tips where if you once the color blocking, it's not up yet. The tutorial is about confetti, color blocking, multi-placing, and getting a crisp border edge. So I don't even know what I'm going to name that yet, but it's coming. It's done. I just have to do a little bit more editing. And I do give you a way to color block where you don't have those demarcation lines. Something else that I learned from Lady in Boa and Feather Hat. I did see Lizette, and I should have asked her while she was here. But then again, I nicknamed her an Avenger. So she just has that superpower. I did see her. You know what else gets me about her? Lizette, I kept telling her, just listen for your name through my color blocking tutorial because I call you out over and over again. But when Lizette, what did she hurt her shoulder or something? And she was painting with her non-dominant hand. I'm like, what? And I go on her site with my big bullhorn. I'm like, she's painting with her non-dominant hand. She's an Avenger. She's got these superpower. I love Lizette. I really love her. And I'm so happy that she popped in today and I got to talk to her one-on-one because usually we just talk. Her and I'll say something on my channel and she'll say, like, guess what? And then or I'll go watch her and I'll be like, you and I are constantly tap dancing on the same moonbeam. I'm going to France. My husband wants to go. My husband wants to travel to France, and I'm looking her up. I'm looking her up. But the scary thing is that John will not see me again for the rest of the trip. She's like, I could just see us sitting at a cafe with coffee and croissants and just like picking each other's brain apart because we're always like on the same kind of train of thought. It's really, when you meet someone like that and you're just like, I'm like, I really think that, um, when I'm sleeping, she's picking up on my dreams. And when she's sleeping, I'm picking up on her dreams. It's really fascinating how much our train of thoughts and where we're going with our diamond painting kind of coincide together. So what am I going to do here? Do I still have fours in here? I got a couple of fours. I was really hoping that John was going to pop back in. I don't know where he got to. But in the middle of my member live, he decided he was going to fix the front door. He comes upstairs with tools. This is after he says hello to everybody. And hi, everyone. I'm doing better. And thank you for asking about me. And then he comes in. And I'm like, you know that this is, what are you doing? You know that this is a live broadcast. So he did say that he wanted to finish his book. So I'm hoping I really can't do it until I get something off my phone because my phone is just screaming right now. It's just like, please dump something out of this storage. And I am still on a lookout for what computer am I buying? What is going to be the one that's going to work best? I have a Galaxy phone. I've been an Apple girl. I have an Apple home. I have an Apple TV. I have and John has a Mac, and we used to be able to share calendars, and he's like really mad at me that, you don't have an Apple anymore. I'm like, well, I kept the iPad. And so that's kind of like having, some sort of connection. But he does admit that my Galaxy 23 is the best camera out there. And I just heard Joe Rogan say that he's an Apple guy, but the magnification on a Galaxy 23 Ultra, which is what I do all my videotaping on, is 100 times magnification. It should, and my son was here and he's like, Mom, why are you not using the back camera? I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, you should be filming from the back camera. You have all this capability. And he's like, look at this director's cut and this and that and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, please do not give me something else that I have to learn. I'm still trying to get on StreamYard, as Chantel will attest to. I can verify that. I can hear Chantel saying, I can verify. Okay, I don't know why I've never had that happen where I'm being reconnected. I did try it. I did try what my son was saying. I was like, whoa, that's really like being right up on my hands, and like you can really see every imperfection. And you know, not just the imperfections, the good stuff too. But well, that's not another four. But and I do have more capability. Um but when I went to put it into my editing uh, application that I have, everything was upside down, and I'm like, I really don't need something else to do. I don't need to have something else to learn where now I have to wait for my editing to process this the right side up, unless I'm doing something wrong, unless you know, when I'm using the back camera, maybe the setup should be different, and I got to figure that out, you know. And right now, um, there's just a lot going on because, you know, John was set to retire next month, and this injury has taken him out of the game. Like, he's a little bit really sad about that. You know, a 27-year career, and you know, a month left to go, and you're injured, and there's no way of going back. No way. No way. He just got his X-rays. This isn't even a shoulder injury. This is a neck injury from the type of work that he's been doing. So, with 1 month to go, and I do think that there's something psychological to that too. You know, my husband is, he has a high tolerance for pain, and he'll be like, because I would say, oh my God, it's raining out, it's cold out, it's freezing out, it's so hot out, and he's out in this weather. He's like, Elisa, I've done 26 winters, 26 summers, you know, rainy season, stormy season. I'm used to it. So he just, I feel like he was just maybe getting signs that something was wrong, but he was like, I only got a month to go, and then I'll worry about whatever it is that's bothering my neck. That's what I think he did. That's just my, you know, medical opinion. That's what was going on, and that he was just barreling through, because that's what he does. That's what he does. And his body just said, no, enough. We're retiring now. I'm done. Kind of like my camera. It's like, I'm done. I'm retiring. If you don't get a video off this phone, I'm done. And which is why I'm doing a live. So then I don't have to edit. I don't have to edit. I mean, I love the editing, but and I love being creative with my graphic designs and all, but I'm like, I need to get in touch with my members and let them know what's going on. I didn't forget about them. I'm still here. And that I want to together. I want to hear what everybody's doing. You know, Gabrielle's got her new little puppy, and she got the Pearsons to keep her company. And Chantel's helping me with StreamYard. And Jay Lee, she's looking at my self-care Sundays. So I kind of know what people are doing a little bit here. And then I have my members that I know what time. I know when they pop in. They pop in on the weekend, in the evening. And I know that when I have a comment, I'm like, oh, I know who it is. I know who it is. This is their time to watch and to catch up with diamond painting. So I really like having, you know, I know who's traveling, and they'll be like, oh, you know, I'm going to be traveling, you know, so I'll be in touch later. So I like that. I like that sense of community that we're creating here. You know, I might have the platform, but I need you to help me create it also. And I like sharing ideas and tips and tricks, and hearing what you all are working on and what you have planned, and the holidays are coming, and how are you faring with that? Because I'm telling you, I am like I'm in a Florida state of mind. John and I went out for Mexican food at a new restaurant that we just absolutely love. And just walking in the restaurant, I'm like, I feel like I'm on vacation. I feel like I'm on vacation. We got out of the city, we drove out to Jersey, went to go try this new place, and I'm like, I feel like I'm living back in Florida. The weather is just, it's beautiful, and I don't want to rush winter, especially since a lot of older people that don't really get out during the winter months, and they find themselves, secluded a lot of the time. Um, so I'm not rushing cold weather, but I think that there's, again, something psychological about the fact that I'm not really getting ready for Halloween, Christmas either. I cleaned my foyer and I took down Haunted because she was in my window. That is a diamond painting from Diamond Art Club, and I take her out every year. And I made hooks for her that I could hang her up in my window, and she's beautiful. Oh God, at nighttime, because I have a light right above my window where she hangs. I might have taken some pictures. They might be in the community section. Um, she just sparkles and shines. She is just so beautiful. So I had to take her down because we're getting ready for Thanksgiving. I still have my pumpkins in the window, but I am having a party for John December the 7th. And like, that's less than a month. I got to get ready. I'd like to have a holiday home when my family comes in from Florida, my husband's family. I lived in Florida, but his cousin has lived in Florida for a very long time. He is on the East Coast. I was on the West Coast. So he's coming in. I'm excited about that. Hello, Michael Rose. I'm giving you a shout out, even though you don't watch my videos. How's that, Mikey? And I don't know if Gabrielle's still here, but my husband put on Facebook one Monday morning, and especially like, he knows that I love this song, but also it was like, I'm driving you crazy, and I know that I'm driving you crazy. And this song is like, I know your favorite song, but it's so appropriate, and it's David Naughton's Making It. Like, you're gonna make it. You're gonna make it through this, taking care of me with this injury. But I was just like, I didn't say it that way. That's he was trying to be funny. And I'm like, oh, you put my favorite song on Facebook Monday morning. How great, because I love Monday mornings. I just see all the opportunity in the world for a new week and new things to learn and new things to explore. And you have a whole week to, like, just try it all out and get it on the internet and get it on the, Facebook page or whatever you're doing. Like, Monday has always been, I'm here mopping my kitchen. I love that. I know. um, and I was like, I got to tell Gabrielle. I have to tell Gabrielle. But my cousin Michael saw it, and it was the video of David Naughton singing "Making It" back in like 1976. And my cousin wrote underneath, I can't unsee this. It's like, you're so mean. He's funny though. He's really funny. I'm like, this is my favorite song. Making It. Let me tell you, just put that song on and you will get done anything that you have to do that's weighing you down. Just put on Making It. It's so positive and uplifting, and that's the kind of music that we had. And I will tell you something else that I watched this week. I watched, because I was looking for something, disclaimer had not dropped yet, and I saw John Cusack. I'm like, oh, I like John Cusack, but I don't feel like watching Serendipity again. Or the other one. What's the other one where he's standing with the radio above his head? And I guess that this show did come up because I watched Bratz on Hulu, and I told you all how I felt about that. That was just an amazing story about the Brat Pack. And I did not, I was expecting something totally different and got something totally different out of that. So go watch that if you were a John Hughes fan. I watched John Cusack and when I think about the great actors that we had, young actors in the 80s, like John Cusack, like, Molly Ringwald and Ali Sheedy and Emilio Estevez and Rob Lowe, Tom Cruise, Matt Dillon. I mean, when you think of all these young, very talented, actors that were just so young, and they went on to have careers. They did. That's what made that so interesting to me. So anyway, John Cusack comes across my suggestions, and it was him playing Brian Wilson, and it was about the Beach Boys, but it was about Brian Wilson. And let me tell you, I was in tears by the end of that show. I know the Beach Boys, I know their song, but I really did not know a lot about the band and really what Brian Wilson went through. Paul Giamatti, if you know Paul Giamatti, you know he's a fabulous actor. He plays the therapist that took care of him, and Elizabeth Banks plays the girl that falls in love with him. And John Cusack, oh, what a role. He did just an excellent job on that. It was, again, like, I feel like we grew up in a time, if you're from the 80s, you grew up in a time where it was just a culture club. You know, it was just a lot of different cultures merging together, a lot of respect for everyone's talent. And there was a ton of talent out there. And it was just an exciting time for my generation because all the movies were about us. Ferris Bueller and The Breakfast Club, and you could relate to that. And, you know, today I can't, I mean, this is not my generation, obviously, but what are young girls and young men relating to in movies today? I don't know. But I did find out with I watch a lot of documentaries where these 5 filmmakers got together, and over 2 years they tried to track down John Hughes, and they were talking to the new generations now. Have you ever seen? They're like, yeah, it's like my favorite movie. Yeah, Ferris Bueller is my favorite movie. Yeah, Breakfast Club is my favorite movie. Yeah, St. Elmo's Fire. Yeah, it's my favorite. Streets of Fire. Yeah, and like, why do you like these movies? You know, I'm trying to think. I see them in my head, but I can't think of the names right now. But we were at a turning point where the movies were all, you know, basically about our generation and about being young and of coming of age and, you know, going to college and, you know, who your friends were. And we were also the last generation that didn't have a cell phone in their hand. You know, we invested our time going to the movies. You had to buy a ticket. You had to wait in line. You know, there was none of this, oh, just stream it on Netflix. It was just a great time. And that movie about finding John Hughes and hearing these young kids, because like when I was at the wedding, they were playing 80s music. And, you know, we're on there, the old heads, we're dancing. You know, the bride and groom are dancing, and they're like in their 20s. And the little kids, they know all the words. They know who Madonna is. They know Lucky Star. They know all the words. And it's just a beautiful thing. Just a beautiful thing. Okay. I don't know where I was. I'm gabbing I don't know. My coffee's starting to run low. My tank is running low. 16 Candles and Pretty in Pink. You know, what else? Like we know the usual suspects. We know Ferris Bueller's Day Off, and we know Streets of Fire. I was in love with Diane Lane. Oh, he's home. I'm live.
What?
I'm live.
Sorry.
No, come in. Gabrielle got Molly.
Oh, how sweet.
She's sitting on her. She
That's
said,
for you.
"Oh, is it food?"
Yes, it is food.
Oh, it smells so good.
Yes,
Look how, I'm sorry, Molly. I thought.
What do you smell?
Oh, French fries.
Truffles.
Listen to how loud he is.
I am loud.
Gabrielle said you could read the cereal box. She would listen.
Oh.
But Molly's
so
home.
sweet.
She said Molly fell asleep on her lap listening to me talk. Yeah, I know. Here he is, Murder Mittens. The cat. Say hi.
Hi, Gab. I'm so happy for you. That's cool. What's my
Okay. So John said.
I said my favorite movie from the 80s is Raging Bull. Raging Bull was rated the greatest movie of the 1980s, even though it did not win Best Picture in 1980. It lost to Ordinary People.
But we're talking like about the young people that we knew in the 80s.
Well, I wasn't young. I was
Yes. I'm talking about the character, the actors that we grew up with.
What do you want me to say? John Hughes' movies?
John Hughes' movies and beyond. Pretty in Pink, 16 Candles,
great movies. Yeah. I love them. I like Raging Bull.
Yeah, but what about all the actors that we grew up with? We had great talent. Great talent. John Cusack.
So how about if I say this then? Wasn't Scarface in the 80s?
I'm gonna kill him.
Oliver Stone wrote the
I'm
screenplay.
talking about actors that were like in their 20s. We had a lot of talent in the 80s. We had a lot of great movies.
We still have a lot of talent. Me, you, we're all talented.
Are you doing Bobby De Niro?
No.
Do Bobby De Niro.
What?
Do Bobby De Niro.
I can't have it. It's the two of you commiserating. I can't have it.
Who else can you do?
I can do anybody, babe.
This is what makes him such a great reader. Now, my live keeps reconnecting because I don't know. Are you only supposed to do a live for like an hour?
Over 70,000 minutes.
I think
Look
I
at the
did.
cat. He's so obsessed with you.
And I smell now his truffle fries. He's right here. He was not here while you were out. He came here when you walked in.
He's afraid I'm going to take you away from
That's
him.
it.
Hey, 'cause you know what? Because I was dry humping her this morning. That's what?
I'm gonna kill you. Goodbye, everyone. We are out now for real.
Daddy, go see the birds.
I got truffle fries.
Daddy, go see the birds, Dad. Come on.
That quick, he forgets that I'm filming.
I don't forget.
No, he didn't forget. He's bad. He's bad. I got a
Come here,
bad boy.
Come on.
Like we had Gloria Estefan. We had great music too. That's another story. Anyway, I'm gonna eat my truffle fries. Bye. Thanks for hanging with me and my crazy husband and cat.